Hello dear students, welcome to the postgraduate courses of English under the Center for Distance and Online Education, University of North Bengal. Today we will concentrate on the courses offered under Semester 2. The unit for discussion today is William Wordsworth's Preface to Lyrical Ballads, which comes under the compulsory core course, The Romantics. Lyrical Ballads is a volume of poems first issued anonymously by Wordsworth and Coleridge in 1798. It is verse written in language that is easily comprehensible. Forward to the first volume of the Lyrical Ballads is where Wordsworth puts down his arguments with respect to the idea of romantic poetry. The 1800 edition of the Lyrical Ballads contained the preface for the first time. Then, the 1802 edition made significant additions to the preface. The preface is a revolutionary critical statement which had the mission to free poetry. It tried to bring poetry closer to life and inaugurated a new era of poetry. The preface basically has 4 points to ponder upon. What is poetry? What are the defining characteristics of a poet? What is the value of poetry? And the question of poetic diction. Today, let us concentrate on the first point. What is poetry? Wordsworth writes in the preface, "All good poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. But though this be true, poems to which any value can be attached were never produced on any variety of subjects but by a man who, being possessed of more than usual organic sensibility, had also thought long and deeply. For our continued influxes of feelings are modified and directed by our thoughts, which are indeed the representatives of all our past feelings, and as by contemplating the relation of these general representatives to each other we discover what is really important to men, so by the repetition and continuance of this act, our feelings will be connected with important subjects, till at length, if we be originally possessed of such sensibility, such habits of mind will be produced, that by obeying blindly and mechanically the impulses of those habits, we shall describe objects and utter sentiments of such a nature and in such connection with each other, that the understanding of the being to whom we address ourselves, if he be in a healthful state of association, must necessarily be in some degree enlightened and his affections ameliorated." Here we find him emphasizing on spontaneous expressions as a mode of writing poetry. He tries to look at the mind of the poet from a different vantage point. It's a vessel where feelings and ideas accumulate and from where thoughts emerge. He postulates the idea of unity in the expression of poetry, thereby focusing on poetry as the outcome of organic sensibility. Poetry, again, is not turning loose of emotions and feelings. Wordsworth considers for premeditation as important to poetry. The poet thinks his feelings and feels his thought. Poetry is not lifeless artistry, and hence it is not merely imitative. It is sustained by a genuine and sincere feeling, and its universal appeal lies in the way it can evoke these feelings. Poetry has a humanizing, sensitizing effect. Poetry is the image of man and nature. It has the tendency to proceed from the individual to the general. Wordsworth believes that sincere poetry and passionate expression can redeem poetry. So he says, "Aristotle, I have been told, has said that poetry is the most philosophic of all writing. It is so. Its object is truth, not individual and local, but general and operative, not standing upon external testimony, but carried alive into the heart of passion. Truth, which is its own testimony, which gives competence and confidence to the tribunal to which it appeals and receives them from the same tribunal. Poetry is the image of man and nature." That will be Wordsworth's thoughts on poetry. Thank you.